It's late. You're exhausted. You're lying in a perfectly good bed and you are wide, uselessly awake. Maybe it's a hotel, a new flat, a friend's spare room. The mattress is fine, the room is quiet, and by every rule, you should have been asleep an hour ago. Instead, you lie there staring at an unfamiliar ceiling, and every small sound, the hum of the air conditioning, a door clicking somewhere down the hall, snaps you back awake. You sleep in thin, broken pieces. You wake up wrecked. And then the next night, in the exact same bed, you sleep like a stone. This is so predictable that sleep scientists gave it a name and they quietly planned their experiments around it. The first night effect. And almost nobody knows the real reason for it, because it has almost nothing to do with the bed. That first night, one half of your brain seems to refuse to trust the room, like a part of you stays awake, on guard. The question is why? Why would your own brain wreck your sleep in a safe, locked room for no reason at all? Stay with me, because the answer is older than your whole species. And once you see it, you will never fall asleep in a strange place the same way again. So let's get the obvious answers out of the way first because they feel right, and they are almost all wrong. It's the strange mattress you think, the unfamiliar pillow, the noise from the corridor, the coffee you had too late, or just the buzz of being somewhere new. Reasonable guesses, everyone. And here is the problem with them. Sleep scientists have watched this happen for decades in quiet, dark, comfortable sleep laboratories where the bed is good and nothing is wrong. The effect shows up anyway. It is so reliable that researchers simply throw the first night's data away because they know the person in front of them will not sleep normally, no matter how perfect the room is. So it isn't the pillow, it isn't the noise. Something in your own head is doing this to you on purpose. And to understand it, scientists had to look directly inside a sleeping brain. So that is exactly what a team at Brown University did. They brought people in to sleep for 2 nights, a week apart, and while they slept, the researchers watched their brains in fine detail. And on that first night, they found something strange and a little unsettling. The two halves of the brain were not sleeping the same way. One side and one particular region of it was sleeping less deeply than the other. It was hanging back, staying shallow. And when the researchers played faint, odd little sounds into the sleeper's ears, that same lighter sleeping region reacted more strongly, and it woke the person up faster. One half of the brain had gone properly to sleep. The other half had stayed on call. And here is the part that seals it. On the second night, in the very same lab, that lopsidedness was gone. Both halves slept evenly. The guard had stood down. Your brain, it turns out, posts a night watch, but only when it does not yet trust the room. Now, if that sounds bizarre, a brain deliberately keeping one half lighter than the other, here is the thing. Nature worked this trick out long ago, and some animals do it far more completely than we ever could. A dolphin never truly falls asleep, not the way you do. It puts one half of its brain to sleep at a time and keeps the other half fully awake so it can keep swimming, keep rising to breathe, and keep one eye open on the water, whole and literal. Half the brain out, half the brain on watch. Ducks do a version of it too. When a row of ducks sleeps out in the open, the ones tucked safely in the middle sleep with both eyes shut. But the ducks on the exposed ends, the ones a fox would reach first, keep the outer eye open and the half of the brain behind it awake, pointed out at the darkness where the danger would come from, sleeping and standing guard at the very same time. Now, you are not a dolphin. What your brain does is much fainter than that, but it is clearly a cousin of the same ancient trick. And once you see it as a survival trick, that miserable first night finally makes sense. Think about what a new place actually meant for almost the entire human story. No walls you trusted, no locked door, no idea what was moving in the dark just beyond the fire. For hundreds of thousands of years, the first night in an unfamiliar place was one of the most dangerous nights of your life. And the people who slept straight through it, deep and defenseless, were the ones that something occasionally carried off before morning. The people who lived to become your ancestors were the light sleepers, the ones whose brains kept a little watch that first night and jolted them awake at the wrong kind of sound. You are descended from the paranoid ones, and that instinct never left. Your body still cannot tell the difference between a strange cave and a strange hotel. It only knows that this place is new, and new used to mean deadly. So it does the one thing that kept your ancestors alive. It refuses to fully lower its guard, just for one night until you have proven the place is safe. Now, one honest thing, because you will hear people get this wrong. You will hear that humans sleep with half their brain awake, exactly like a dolphin. And that is not quite true. It is the exciting version, and it oversells it. You are not lying there half awake and half asleep, running a security patrol till dawn. The real finding is quieter than that. One region of one half of your brain sleeps a little less deeply and startles you awake a little faster. That is it. A faint echo of what the dolphin does, not the real thing. But the direction is not in doubt. Even that small imbalance is enough to wreck a night of sleep, and it is there for a reason. A watered down night watch is still a night watch. So the next time you are lying awake at 2 in the morning in some unfamiliar room, exhausted and frustrated and completely unable to switch off, try to be a little kind to yourself about it. You are not broken. You are not a bad sleeper. You are doing something your ancestors did for 1,000,000 years, something that kept them alive long enough for you to be here at all. A part of you has quietly decided that it does not know this place yet, and until it does, it is going to sit up in the dark and keep watch, the way something in your family line has done on every first night in every new place, for longer than there have been words for it. You will sleep tomorrow. Tonight, a very old part of you is simply standing guard, so let it, and in the morning, maybe even thank it. If the odd, overlooked side of being human is your kind of thing, there's a lot more of it here.